Good day to you. It's August 4th, this week in landscape. We're going to talk about two quick things. One of them seems to be a bit philosophical. It's tree rings. So just prepare yourself for that. But the first thing we're going to talk about is mosquitoes. I hate them. Everyone hates them. It feels like a kind of a joke on humanity. Don't understand the good there, but with all of the rain we have had, we are seeing a bunch of mosquitoes. I was talking to a friend who runs another company, and they had 50 people sign up for their mosquito program on one day. I think it was 2 weeks ago, um, which is a lot. So there's a lot of mosquitoes out there. Quick facts. Well, okay. First of all, this picture is a little bit old. This is from March. Um, and the reason I'm using it is because I saw this same water table toy for my kids full of water this weekend, and I just immediately dumped it. And I wished I had a picture of it, um, because I was scared of all the mosquitoes that were bound to come. So please walk your yard and kill thousands of mosquitoes by dumping out all of the little areas that are holding stagnant water right now. That is just a service to yourself and to everyone around you when you do that. So quick facts for mosquitoes for you. One, um, only the females bite. There's something life lesson in there, but I'm not going to go through it too hard today. Um, Females can lay like 100 to 200 eggs at a time, and they can do multiple. Um, they can lay eggs multiple times during a life. So if you're killing one of those, you may be killing 1,000 future mosquitoes. So good on you. Um, one thing that's funny is like my wife gets bit way more often than I do, and so do some of my kids. And that means that I forget that this is a thing. So I'll like go outside with the kids, and they'll just be getting destroyed, and I'll forget that they're getting destroyed because it's not bothering me. And I was looking into why, and I'm sure there's some joke here about me smelling bad or not being sweet, but. One of the things is that O-type blood is twice as likely to get bit as A-type blood. And I actually have A-type blood. I don't know if I should be giving that kind of personal information out on the internet, but I am right now. And so I just don't get bit that much. And if you have O blood, O-type blood, I think O pos or O neg, then you are twice as likely to get bit. There's other things involved, actually, some things around smell, actually, some stuff around carbon dioxide. So, like breathing out, if you're a heavy breather or you're like exercising a lot, they're attracted to that. Um, but please, I saw like a thing the size of a like bottle cap is big enough for them to lay eggs in. So go dump them out, um, to protect us all. Okay, so that's this. The second thing's a little bit more philosophical. We're talking about tree rings, and I have two pictures for you here. When it comes to, we've had a big rain year, right? It was looking a little bit light, and then all of a sudden we've had just a big rain year, and it made me think about tree growth, life growth, seasons, etc. This one is perfect. It's just perfectly, I mean, not perfectly round, but it's really round. You can see rings. You can see the distinction between the two different layers. It's the heartwood and the sapwood. This is actually a mesquite, so it's super dense, wood overall. This is a cedar, and it is a mess, but it is still pretty cool and pretty to see, um, all the different rings and stuff like that. So, some facts around this, and then relating it to life, and why you end up with these like weird irregularities. We do see a ring a year. I think these pictures are a little bit deceiving because it's really like a light part and a dark part creates a ring. Um, and you end up with irregular growth years. So if you have like a really uh, heavy rain year, like this year, we're going to see a big ring, like a thick ring on the year. Obviously, it's not just water, it's also nutrition, sunlight, stuff like that. But the biggest impact is generally water because the rest of the stuff doesn't matter. Or does, if it's mattering, it's going to matter multiple years rather than just 1 year. Usually, obviously, you could have like a outside event occur. Um, but on a drier year or a year that's more difficult for the tree, you'll have a thinner ring. What's interesting is that the thinner rings are harder because the it's like the cells are stacked closer together. Um, and there's like a life lesson there on like really hard years being important for building the strength and density of character. Um, I won't go too far deep into this. You can run with it if you want to, but it's been interesting for me to kind of process and frankly a couple hard years for our family. Um, what I will say, just some other interesting facts about this picture because it looks really messy. I thought it was pretty with the different colors and whatnot, but so the light wood is called sapwood and the dark wood is heartwood. The water moves up and down the trunk in the sapwood. The heartwood acts for strength and like durability for the tree long term. Um, what's happening here, why you have this like much wider part over here on sapwood is that this tree is leaning heavily. And so what ends up happening is like as it leans, it ends up creating a whole bunch. I think it was leaning towards the top here. Like so that I don't know. I can't do my hands to or show you what this is, but you can imagine that it has to produce a whole bunch more stability on the bottom part of the tree in order for it to continue to stand. And so if you have an irregular tree alignment, then the wood has to develop to support that. And so I think it probably did a lot, like started off as a pretty straight, as a cedar tree or a ash juniper, if you want to call it the more technical name. Um, and then as it started to lean, it started to lean, lean, lean. And why would make a tree lean? Probably light, frankly. There might have been something that pushed on it, but frankly, it probably saw trees do this. They can see or sense where light is. And so it started to see that the light was better over there and started to lean that way and then double down over the years. Um, and then there's cedars are soft, generally softwood, and so they have like weird growth patterns in general. Whereas like we saw with this mesquite tree, it's just hard, hardwood and very regular. And this one was a very regular part of the tree that was cut for firewood. Um, both of these are still pretty recent after the cut, so you can see a lot of the bright colors because there's still water and moisture in the tree. As it dries out, it'll become whiter or lighter in color. Um, it needs to like, if you hear the term seasoned wood, that just means it's sat for like a year and all the water has been able to evaporate out. And so it's better from a firewood perspective because it's drier. Um, all right, I've talked too long. Hope you guys have a great week. Cheers.